I've learned your prayers will not be answered if you got any animosity or any bad feelings in your heart toward anybody.
So is that what sanctifying your soul is about? Like kind of clearing your passions and
yes.
Yeah.
And if you want the rewards, then you have to be pure in your thoughts. You got to have those pure thoughts.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Your Mate Tom podcast. And I know it's been a little while since the last episode, and I promise that I'm going to be better at pumping out these episodes as often as I can. But hey, at least we've got an awesome guest, Tommy Chong, who's a weed icon at this point and someone who I used to actually watch growing up. And it was one of those weird moments where I'm pinching myself like, man, I can't believe I'm actually hanging out and talking with Tommy Chong, you know? And yeah, he's like a really down-to-earth, genuine guy. And we had a blast. And of course, we had it with my good friend, Dakota Wint. And we actually had another podcast with Tommy Chong on Dakota's podcast. If you want to check that out, I'll leave the links in the description box below. And I know some of you may think it's like a sin for me not to smoke weed on this podcast because I'm talking to Tommy Chong. But I had to go on another little break. I think because I've been in lockdown in Melbourne for so long that I kind of fell back into that weed habit, and I was like, had to shake myself out of that weed fog. And what timing, just before interviewing Tommy Chong. But I did smoke weed on Dakota's podcast when he interviewed Tommy Chong, so I can tick that off the bucket list. Smoke weed with Tommy Chong. Boom. I can die now. Nah, but actually, I really enjoyed it. He's genuinely an awesome guy, and I'm very happy that he turned out the way he is, in terms of just being really down to earth and genuinely cool, and just, this guy, he's lived a life, and he has so many crazy stories that he's experienced, and it's just, what can I say, but I'm just blessed, to have this opportunity to be able to talk to awesome humans like Tommy. So yeah, anyways, I'll leave the timestamps in the description box below. I'm sure you're going to love this podcast. Make sure to, warm up yourself a cup of tea, relax, and come hang out with Tommy Chong, Dakota, and myself. And of course, we're also available on Spotify, iTunes, if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're feeling generous, you want to give us a 5-star review, that really helps us. So if you want to, help us rise the ranks. And if you also wanted to support our podcast, you can check out patreon.com/yourmatetom, and you can gain access to an exclusive podcast, which we have called The Tom and Yesenia Dimension, which is my fiance and I just, doing long form podcast. And I think a lot of you guys have really enjoyed it, and I'm actually about to edit a whole bunch, so I'm going to bulk upload to Patreon. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Alright guys, welcome to another episode, and this is round 2, so hopefully Tommy Chong appears this time. And Tommy Chong. Now I'm actually really looking forward to this. I think we waited too long to reach out to him again. He seemed like really, I don't know, I was just like really surprised talking to him, like he was like, not that I was surprised, but I guess I was just relieved at how down to earth and just cool he is. Yeah,
me too. It was so easy to talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean, and you find like I find like that with everybody when I do a podcast, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Oh my God. Like, I don't know. I just go through so many insecurities and little emotions. And then you find people are just like, yeah, what's up? And then they just talk, and it's a really easy conversation. And people are people at the end of the day. And it's just like, yeah, it's cool. And it's cool to see like people. I mean, Tommy Chong's a legend. Think of all the shit that Tommy Chong has been through in his life. I mean,
Oh
when he was on the last podcast with us, he was talking about. Didn't he say he hung out with John Lennon, Timothy Leary, getting high with Timothy Leary?
Yep.
I mean, that's some legendary. That's a legendary thing to just drop casually.
Even just in the 70s, man. Like, I feel like a lot of people like look at us. Like, dude, a lot of people even look to us as legends because we talk about weed and drugs online.
We're stoner legends.
Which we're not, but well, I'm not.
Yes, we are. We're stoner legends.
I guess we would be.
We are internet stoner legends. We can own the title.
All right.
Like, I have a flute right here. Why else would I have a flute if we weren't internet stoner legends?
That's true. I got my Super Mario heat changing mug.
Why would you have that? There's a reason you have that.
Why would you have that? Exactly. Who plays Super Mario as an adult? Stoners. Yeah. Actually, well, I was talking to you the other day, actually. Thank you. I was telling you how I had to go for another break for weed. So this is like day 3 for me, which is what timing, right? To go on a break when I'm about to interview Tommy Chong. But on your podcast, I smoked weed on that. So I felt like I smoked weed with Tommy Chong. I've done it. I can tick it off the bucket list. You know what I mean? I don't have to do it again.
Absolutamente.
And yeah, man. But dude, just imagine that movie coming out in the 70s, like Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke, and how, like,
I gotta watch it again.
Even think about the 90s and how the perception on weed was so different to how it is now. Like, just in our own lifetime. That's what I want to ask him about.
I don't know though, because like the thing is, you grew up in Australia, I grew up in Detroit, and it's always been normal in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I mean,
but like normal
even
as
in
in
the
like
90s.
on the mainstream way, or like in the
I don't know,
rebellious
but like
underworld way?
definitely like just in all the adults in my life, all of the it just was normal. Like it just everywhere people smoked weed in my life when I was growing up.
I could say,
I mean, it still was illegal, and you would get in trouble if you got caught with it.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people smoked even when I was young, but it was like kind of it was usually the delinquents and the degenerates who got into it. I'm talking in the 90s. Like,
my mom
at
has
least
420
where I live.
tattooed on her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, on her
That's
foot.
hilarious. When'd you get that?
Maybe 10 years ago or something.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Why is it 420? Do you know?
Probably has to do with the police code. Like, we have a 420, and that probably means like you found someone with weed or something.
I've never heard that theory before. That would be cool
I'm just guessing.
if that was true. Yeah, there's
Because they got like that one. What is it? 187. You ever heard of 187?
No.
I think 187 is like a cop getting shot or something.
Oh.
So like rappers in some songs will be like 187. You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nah, this should be fun though.
We're just talking about how we're like playing like Super Nintendo and Mario. No. Yeah, well, actually, the gang members and their songs. 187 is, well, let me. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know anything about that kind of lifestyle.
No. I haven't listened to, like, seriously listened to rap.
I once read it in a book.
Yeah, I once read it. Well, technically, 187 it refers to the 1977 legislation. Hey, Tommy, how are we, brother?
The majority include.
Hey, Tommy, how are we?
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. We got you. A bit of a confusing time zone, so apologies about that.
Oh, well, I was told 3. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. So,
then I'm not confused.
Nah, that's good. Clear-minded.
So, are you okay? Everything fine?
Yeah, we're good. So we got Dakota. You remember Dakota, who we had last time?
Hey, what's
Say
up,
hi,
Tommy?
Dakota.
Hey, how are you doing?
How you doing? Doing pretty good. Right
Good.
now I'm in Detroit in Michigan right now.
Oh, Detroit. Oh.
Yep, in Detroit. It's just getting summer here.
Did you get deported there?
Yeah, I got deported here, yeah. This is my punishment. This is my karmic punishment. This is where I grew up at.
That's
you grew up in Detroit? You grew up in Detroit?
Yeah, well, just outside Detroit. In Taylor.
Wow.
In Dearborn.
Oh, Dearborn. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I know Dearborn.
Yep, that's where I grew up.
They got that enormous tire there, right?
I live pretty close to that tire. Yep.
It's a good landmark for real stoned people, isn't it?
Yeah, by the tire. Yeah.
I've never been to Detroit, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
There's a giant
Goodwill, I
like
think.
a billboard, advertising, but it's a tire. It's not made out of rubber, is it?
I think so. Yeah, it's a real tire, I think.
Yeah, it's giant.
Actually, I think it's a Ferris wheel, and they built a giant rubber
right, and
around it.
and then they did the rubber. Yeah, it's really good. You never been to Detroit?
He's from Australia.
Yeah, I've never been to the US. Not yet.
Well,
I'm trapped here. We can't even leave.
You've been to Melbourne, right?
I live in Melbourne.
Oh, well, Detroit, same thing.
Fair enough. Never heard that one before. So I should feel right at home then.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Same kind of, industrial and, working class and, place where shit gets done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. Tommy, I was showing my fiance Up in Smoke for the first time just the other week.
Did she
She loved it, man. She loved it. It was hilarious. And it was so good because I haven't seen it in a long time. So it kind of like brought me back in my teenage years.
Yeah.
It was like, it's so good. It holds up. It surprisingly holds up today.
It does. It does. I was like, thinking about it because I've seen it. Yeah, again, I saw it last couple of months ago, at the 420, April 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheech and I were kind of hired to be part of a crew watching it from home. And so I saw it again for the first time in at least 10, 12 years, and I'm pretty amazed. It was a musical.
Really?
When it comes down. Yeah, well, think about it. It was a musical because, a drummer and a singer get together and then they go through all this hassle about trying to get their weed. But in the end, they end up playing at a rock concert, the Rock Fight. And we get introduced to the punk music for the first time, in the world. And
that's right.
And then we end up with Cheech's ode to the Mama Talking to Me crowd, and and then we end with, and then all it was just a search for weed in order to play. It was that was the simple message. But yeah, I'm glad she liked it. Is she a musician?
She sings and she's playing piano.
Oh, well, that's it. Then of course she'll like it. Yeah.
Like I'm definitely, I was definitely into my rock and roll and metal back in the day, playing guitar, piano. Love it.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, had I followed that, as a director, had I followed that template, we might have had a lot more, hits. But I just had to follow my own instinct. And but anyway, I really enjoyed it too. And I see why it stood out amongst all the other movies. It was an accident, but it was a good one.
A divine accident, it seems.
Yeah.
I was like thinking about because I was born in the 90s, and I remember even just looking back then, which is like a baby compared to what you've experienced. But
sure.
Marijuana culture I've seen it in myself, in my own life, how it's changed so much, at least where I live. And so I couldn't even imagine what the perception was back in the 70s. And then you're coming out with this stoner movie. Like, how was the reaction?
Well, the truth was, it was more out of the 60s. even though we made the movie in the 70s, it was really a throwback and a homage to the 60s, because it was the weed that enlightened the people fighting a war in Vietnam. And it was, and the people, the anti-war protesters, and the people like Cheech that were draft resistors. It was the weed that brought them comfort and solidarity. Brought them all together. And so when we did our movie, it was like we were still in the 60s, even though it was a decade later. But yeah, the 60s, they're still here.
History repeats itself in cycles, yes. It seems. Yeah,
it does.
And what do you think of what do you think of marijuana culture today?
Well, interesting. I'm into it, lock, stock, and barrel, and so I'm dealing with it every day. But I've got a buddy in Canada. He's one of the first. He's really an authentic hippie. He was at Woodstock, and he run a concession, kind of a healthy food drink concession at Woodstock, and then at a bunch of other love-ins and all the following it, and so now he's a grower, but he's really intelligent. I've always loved him. My family, they don't understand him. He kind of reminds you of Svengali, that Russian mystic that was in the court during I think that was it a Svengali? I think that was his name. What was his name? Anyway, he was like the mystic that came to court. Well, Fimbab, that's the name of the guy. He was telling me about what happened to the weed industry in Canada. It exploded when they legalized it, but then the prices went from $3,000 a pound to now barely $800 a pound.
Oh wow!
And so a lot of these guys that invested a lot of money thinking that was the growing rate lost a lot of their money and their desire to keep doing it. And so, but I've always kind of known that once they legalize, see the reason it was 3,000, it was illegal. It was black market. Like selling heroin. Like if you put heroin, if you legalized heroin, there would be no drug war. There would be no reason, because heroin is so cheap to manufacture, and the only reason it's popular is because it's illegal. And I don't think this fact is missing with big business and with the government, which is why they keep these draconian drug laws alive, because it's sort of like, and that when you're dealing with dark money or illegal money, there's no taxes involved. This is pure cash, you see, and it can be stuck away, laundered. Just like Trump was laundering money, or all these people launder money because it's easy to do. You just get a failing business, and then all of a sudden it's showing a profit.
Oh yeah,
and you're paying taxes, and so you've laundered the money. And so I'm learning this now, that the reason that the governments don't want pot legal is for that fact, because the price will drop and drop and drop. And the interesting thing, the people that have kind of controlled that are the people that produce edibles and medicine, because because of the fact that this is a sleep aid, a CBD is good for you and all that. Now it's all about packaging and availability and reputation. And so you can make a lot of money with weed, but not as in its raw state like you used to. Now, $800 a pound, still, it's a nice, it has a nice ring to it, but not like $3,000 a pound.
Wow.
That's why the early results in Colorado, for instance, was mind-boggling. But they were making millions and millions of dollars and fixing roads and schools, and but it can't sustain, because when in Colorado, when they legalized it there, it was illegal everywhere else. So you had a lot of population coming to Colorado to buy the $3,000 a pound weed, because they could do it without fear of going to jail. And so now when it's legalized all over the world, the prices are going to, especially when you get talking about India, Africa, and places where pot grows, you could have as many crops as you want. I don't think it's going to replace a lot of crops, because of it'll be, it grows almost wild for everybody and everybody. Now you got the big growers interested, and there again, then the price will even drop a little more, and so it'll depend on. Everything will smooth out. It'll be like corn or wheat or other commodities. Where it won't be a big like right now. It's kind of a romantic thing, because it's illegal, and you know what I mean. We're right on that edge.
Do you know
that's going to disappear in no time?
Do you know which culture was using weed first? Which culture started cultivating it first, or in which area of the world?
In history?
Yeah, in history.
I believe the Chinese. I believe.
I think so too. It was a long time ago. I think like 10,000 years ago or something. They found in tombs or like a shaman's pouch. They found resin or seeds of marijuana.
Well, it was used in religious rites, right from the beginning, because it affected.
In what kind of way?
The incense burning, like the Greeks, when they go through the church with the incense swing, you can just picture that being marijuana, doing that. In India, they still have those, those holy men that have pot festivals every year, where they smoke so much that they see God. Those guys are still there. The Rastafarians in Jamaica and all over the world. I guess started in Ethiopia. In the African culture, they've always had it. And in the native culture, the American medicine man in the tribes, they all knew about it. It was if you were to what happened to me? Oh yeah,
you're back.
Yeah, if you were to have people from that era come to this era, they would be very confused.
Yeah, right.
Because here's this simple thing. It's just like smoking, like tobacco. That the American native. Well, it came from Africa, because the natives, when they trekked through the Bering Strait or whatever, and oh, by the way, they're finding signs of Chinese explorers here way before Columbus in Canada.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They found a ruins of a village, a Chinese village in New Brunswick.
Wow.
And what happened? This what do you call it? Archaeologist was flying over New Brunswick, and then he said, he told the pilot, "Go down, take a look," and he could see the outline of a village, that was in the wilds, it's in the woods. And so then he got on the ground, and took an expedition to the coast of New Brunswick, and he found remnants of a Chinese smelting place. Now, what the Chinese did, apparently, I think this was like 400 years ago or something. I forget the exact date, but anyway, the Chinese come and they found gold. But unlike the other explorers, where they just took the raw gold or enslaved the natives to get their gold, the Chinese, they assimilated with the tribes, and they taught the natives there a written language. And there's a tribe in that area, I'm not sure which one it is, that has the only the Aborigine tribe in North America that has a written language, and that was thanks to the Chinese.
Is it a Chinese dialect?
Somewhat, but a written language, like they use figures, and they, and so what they're surmising this. They went and studied the site, and they found that they had come over a period of years, possibly 5-10 years of coming and then going back to China. But they would smelt the gold right there, because apparently they found the gold on the beach. There was so much gold in that area that they smelted it there, and then they took it back to China. But they didn't enslave anybody. What they did, they assimilated with everybody, and they taught them a language, they taught them culture, they taught all that. And then they didn't leave a trace except for the ruins of their village that they lived in. It's pretty interesting. It's in New Brunswick in Canada. And I found the book at like it was like a thrift store or some old bookstore, and I happened to just pick it up just by accident. But oh my God, it just being Chinese, I said, whoa, this needs to be made into a movie.
Yeah.
Or now a series.
Could you imagine? That'd be a cool movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've never even heard that before, so it's like news to me. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It could even be a funny
the history, people are exploring because of the gold. Because when you look at the ancient civilizations, I mean, they pockets, of them, like the Egyptians, they were very wealthy, they had unbelievable wealth. And that's why the pharaohs, they didn't want to leave this earth. And then they wanted to take their shit with them.
Yeah. They got buried with the gold, didn't it? Yeah. I'm taking it all with me. And all the sons are like, can I have it, Dad? No, it's mine.
No, and I like the grave diggers. They said the grave diggers are kind of okay, got to mark a little, put the little breadcrumbs here so we know where to get back there.
Have you ever seen the Great Pyramids in Egypt?
Oh yeah. My son, in Paris, we were visiting. He was like 8 or 9, I guess. Anyway, we're at the pyramids. The next thing you know, he disappeared. I'm looking around, and then all of a sudden, I hear some people yelling. And he's halfway up the pyramid. he wanted to get a close look, so he went crawling up the pyramid. Yeah. Well, Egypt is amazing. Oh God.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
But I'm amazed with ancient civilizations.
Yeah, me too.
Because I just, and then I like our archaeologists or the writers that they always want to make it sound like some aliens with spaceships came and built it all, and somehow disappeared and used it for navigation or some shit like that. And no, it was us. It was the humans.
Not giving humans enough credit. Like, we can fly a rocket to the moon and make, we have iPhones and cameras, and we can't build the pyramid. Come on.
Yeah. And the same as in South America, all the Mayan ruins, they got rocks. They said there's rocks here. It could never be made by humans. They fit so perfectly.
It's called coca leaves. That's what they did.
The truth is, this is a structure that's been there 1,000 years. Okay. And so there's not going to be much construction cracks in between the joints, over the years, it'll melt together. But same as the UFO thing now, I was asked on another podcast, what do I think of UFOs, and I guess they were kind of expecting some sort of like alien thing. And I said, they're drones. That's what the UFOs are.
From a different planet drones. Or from a different country?
Who knows? Probably from a different universe. That's what I'm thinking, because it's much easier to go through a veil, than to travel 6 million light years away, so you can just go through another dimension.
Right.
So I'm feeling they're drones and they're just taking, collecting data.
Collector. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And the same as when I saw Star Wars, I was so disappointed. God, I was disappointed. In fact, my son,
with the new ones.
Oh no, it was the first one.
Okay. All right.
Because everybody's going, oh, you got the Star Wars, blah blah, and my son too. And so I took him. He was 3 or 4 at the time. He was young. And we get there, and he starts crying. He goes, "That's not Star Wars. I want to see Star Wars." And all those Star Wars freaks around me, "Shut up, hey, tell me why," And so I said, "I'm with you, dude." We left. I never did see the whole Star Wars. You know what pissed me off with that movie? It's supposed to be light years ahead, and they're fighting with fucking swords. And they got a sword fight. Is that the best they could come up with?
Star Wars fans are raging right now. That's blasphemous, Tommy.
Oh, well, let it be. But come on, we're talking about an advance. Is that how advanced we are? Years from now,
going back to swords.
We're wearing long robes and we're fighting with swords, light swords. And what does it do? What happens to it? Come on! I couldn't buy that.
You don't buy
you know what it is. All the old westerns and the sword fighting and all these. They're all tales from the Bible, basically.
Yes, the hero's journey. Yeah, it's all based on like Christ, based.
Yeah,
fundamentally.
Yeah, like Shakespeare got a lot of his shit from the Bible. Because the Bible is really like a diary of
poetry,
humans, It's a diary and poetry, and it's history, and of course, they're written by writers, just like I told Wolf of Wall Street, when I was in jail with him, he's writing his book, and then he showed me a page, and I told him, "Nah, you haven't written shit." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Well, all he did was copy Tom Wolfe, And so I told him, I said, the cardinal rule of writing is, especially for film, is the most of, So the Israelis didn't just cross the Red Sea. God stopped the Red Sea and parted it, And so then the Israelis could ride their chariots walk through the mud and shit and get to the other side. And when Pharaohs tried to do it, oh man, the ocean came back and killed them all.
Yeah.
Well, that's writing. That's some really good writing. But there's and talking about the Bible, I've been a student of it. Through these other writers that have really examined and dissected it, and it has all the information we need about our existence.
Well, even if you think about Genesis, it's actually a fractal pattern that repeats itself not only throughout the whole Bible but all human history, on all scales of reality. And it's like, because I love it that you're bringing up the Bible, because I've been getting really deep into it the last year, And it's really profound stuff, and it reflects where we are today. It's time.
Are you aware of Emmett Fox?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, write him down, Emmett Fox, and and
I'll write it down.
he does. He's online. You can get him, and that's what he does. He explains the Bible and what it means, and he explains every word, because like the Lord's Prayer, for instance, man, it's heavy shit. I mean, it tells you every word in
The
that
Our
Lord's
Father who
Prayer.
art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That one, yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Hallowed be thy name. Right there.
Bringing earth as it is in heaven. So it's like we're lowering heaven and raising earth, you know, informing matter with meaning and expressing meaning with matter.
That's right. But what it is, it's your mind, it's your perception. See, because everything exists in our mind. Our reality exists in our mind. And that's what's eternal. And you know, we are our mind. And when we're brain dead, that's it. You can live without a heart. You can have the heart on the table beat, or someone else's heart. They could put a mechanical pump in there and it'll work. And you can live with probably without every organ in your body except the mind, the brain. And so far, they haven't been able to transplant a brain. And I doubt if they ever will. Simply because that is who we are. You see, and we're all individuals. You see, there's no two alike anywhere. And we're all individuals, and we all have a God app built into us. And all we have to do is activate it with the mind. And that's why the Lord's Prayer is so powerful, because every word has meaning to the point where you can change the weather, you can change health, you can change serious stuff, you can create miracles. And that's why Jesus, oh, by the way, I got Jewish friends, you know, and we got a we got a little what do you call it, you know, a thing about we go on vacations together all over, you know. And so far we've been to France, we've been to Italy, we've been to a few places, but I want to go and visit Germany. And so my Jewish friends are, Germany? Why do you want to go to Germany? Man, they've got some incredible cities that were saved. Some were saved during the war, and others were rebuilt according to the way that it was. And there's so much really beautiful history and art. So much, some of the structure, some beautiful structures that were built there, you know. And I wanted to explain to my Jewish friends, which I haven't done yet, that there's millions of people in the world called Christians that are actually worshiping the words of a rabbi.
That's true. Yeah. Jesus was a Jew. He was a monotheistic Jew. Yeah.
And he never was a Christian. If you showed him a cardinal or a pope or a bishop, he wouldn't know what you were looking at. What he did know was the high priest, which pissed him off because they're making money, you know, doing God's work. No, he was this not religious man, but he was very spiritual, highly evolved rabbi. And rabbi means teacher. And so, you know, and this gets lost in the history. You know, with King James in England, you know, decided to rewrite the Bible according to his beliefs, you know. But anyway, I've been such a like going into the spiritual realm more.
Yes,
you know, because I can. You know, I don't have. I don't know. I have no reason why I don't have to, and I'm having so much fun with it, man.
Yeah, you look like you're having fun. Like you know, you're glowing. You look good, Tommy.
Oh, I'm enjoying this shit. My wife just asked me. She said, "What are you smiling about?" Because you know, when I do cameos, you know, I tell people, you know, I said, you know, Emmett Fox again, read him. You'll love him.
All right, I wrote it down, so I'll definitely remember.
Yeah, he tells you about the golden key. Now, the golden key is very simple. What you do under any circumstances, you know, like you trying to get on an airplane and the plane got canceled and you got to be somewhere. And instead of getting frustrated, you fill yourself up with love thoughts. And you compliment the ticket agent. You understand everything that she's going through or he's going through, and you don't put any pressure on. You don't cause a fight. You don't cause anything. What you do the opposite. You accept whatever is happening, but you do it in such a loving manner that the situation changes. I've done it. And like my wife and I, one time, we're flying home from back east, and we're kind of stuck in Denver because of a snowstorm, and so our plane was canceled, definitely canceled. And so we went to the ticket agent, and instead of getting pissed off, I got to be home, blah, you know, doing that, we just started complimenting the girl, you know, listen, if there's anything you can do for us, we'd appreciate it. If not, we understand. And within seconds, she goes, "Oh, I got something for you. Yeah, go to door 18. They're waiting for you right now." Yeah, they had to do something, come back to the gate for something, and they're going to LA right now. It's called the Golden Key. It works every time. Just changing your thought from aggression to passion, to passiveness, and to understanding, and more than anything, love. Is a love thought, and it works for everything. It works for marriage. It works for relationships. It works for business. It's killer for business. Well, look at my life. You look at my life. I mean, everybody was shut down. I wasn't. Everybody's losing. I got friends, man. The bars are shut down. They're on the dole from the government. I'm making more money than I ever did doing cameos and sitting at home, and you know. Wow. And, yeah,
that's amazing.
It's your attitude. It's all about attitude. Yeah, and it's so crazy. And you know, a lot of times things don't happen the way you envisioned them to happen, and then when you really look at it, you think, "Wow, that's good." You know,
Thank God that happened. You know, through His grace. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like for instance, sports for me. You know, I had all the heart, but I never had the tools. You know, and so my brother, you know, who had all the tools and all the heart and everything, he was like a star football player, a star hockey player, you know, but he got so many injuries and he got beat up so much that you know, it didn't help his life, you know. Hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
We're supposed to do the shoot now. When are you going to be done with that?
Yeah, not too long.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my daughter. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hello. How's it going?
They're from Australia.
Oh wow.
Well, I am Dakota's from Detroit.
Yeah, and Detroit. Yeah, Melbourne and Detroit, same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she wants. I got to shoot a little. She's a movie director. And she's got her famous dad in a scene that she wants to sell a script with, and so I'm gonna, after I do the podcast, I'm gonna put on my actor's hat.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's the movie about?
Probably a horror movie. I don't know. She writes horror movies and I don't read them because I don't like to get on a bad trip. I seen one of her movies that scared the shit out of me, man. I don't want to see that. But my name opens doors, so I'll help her. But no, I'm not a horror. Although Cheech and I told Cheech, the only thing we never did in our career was a horror movie. Like Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. And so I'm sorry I did that, because now Cheech wants to do a horror movie. I don't want to do that.
You don't mess with horror movies.
No.
No way.
Oh yeah, that thing, like you are what you eat.
Yeah, I feel like you open portals in a sense. Yeah.
That's exactly, you said it. I don't want to go there. I don't want to have that feeling. I understand a lot of actors. I've turned down a few roles, where it was like scary, because you create your own reality, man. And anytime there's karma to be paid. No, I don't want to go there for money, because that's why you're doing it. It's doing for money. I'll find a lot easier, nicer way to make well, the thing is, if you're connected spiritually, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
That's true. You're protected.
I don't know what you meant, but how can I what do you mean?
Well, what happened? Oh, this is my daughter talking. I got a hearing problem, because I'm probably almost legally deaf. I got hearing aids, and sometimes I'll be tuned into the TV in the other room, and it'll come through. I'll be somewhere else, and I get voices in my head.
Like, oh yeah, I've lost the plot.
Getting old's a bitch, man.
Yeah,
but I've been given cameos on how to deal with age.
Yeah, what are some positives of getting older? Like, what are some things that you enjoy?
I enjoy being left alone.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I enjoy having my own television. My own television set. I enjoy having my own room and my own bedroom. Actually, I really do. I really enjoy it. I like the fact that all the heavy lifting now, that's my sons and my daughter's boyfriends, and my daughter too. That's their job. To carry the heavy shit around. It used to be my job.
Yeah. Now you get to relax.
No more. Well, we're dangerous. As you get old, you get dangerous. Like I remember my dad when he was my age. Well, no, he was actually younger, and my sister-in-law had a ton of babies, and she handed one of her babies to my dad, and he couldn't physically hold her, and the baby went zipping down. Didn't hurt himself or anything, but he couldn't. He never had the strength to hold the baby, and so now I make sure that I'm sitting or in a good position, because there's certain body parts, man. They're not there for you anymore.
Oh no. I'm not looking forward to that. But no, it's part of life.
But you will. But the you that you are now won't be the you that you will be then.
That's
you will
true.
have evolved to it.
Yeah.
And by the time you reach it, you will. And by the way, you will enjoy the rest. Because nothing's sadder than to see some old bloke trying to stay young, dyeing their hair and trying.
It's sad. Yeah, it's like, dude, what are you doing?
yeah, and nothing nicer than an old guy that does like Santa Claus,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being old. It's like it's like they just want to deny their mortality.
Yeah. For some reason, well, a lot of it, it's fear. It's a good feeling to have to stay on the planet, because if people really knew, there'd be a lot more people checking out than there is now. I'm glad they don't advertise it, because I found out that we are eternal beings, And in fact, I'm reading a book now. It's called Musicophilia by Oliver Sacks. Have you heard of this guy?
No, I haven't. Musicophilia.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oliver Sacks. Write that one down too. That's a good one. He he's kind of like a doctor that's dealing in spirituality, because he talks about a guy that got hit by lightning in the face, and then he went to that. Yeah, he got lightning. He got smacked in the face. He kind of left his body, out of body experience. He went to heaven for a brief period of time, but when he came back to Earth, he came to, he had this incredible urge to play concert piano, even though he'd taken a few lessons before. But all of a sudden, he became one of the top pianists, and he just he couldn't stop practicing and playing, to the point where his wife finally divorced him because she lost him. He disappeared into the music. And I'm reading the book now. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
So if we are like eternal beings, which I agree with, I think we are, like there is some part of us that is eternal. What does that mean for the afterlife? What does the afterlife look like for an eternal being?
The afterlife can be, well, first of all, there's no afterlife.
Yeah.
What it is, it's the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of us see, when they depict hell's in the physical world, because in the spiritual world, there's no fire, there's no water, there's no air, there's nothing. There's just love. It's just love and light. They always talk about light and love. In the physical world, it's here for us to learn. See, when anything like planted, like you take a seed and you plant it in the ground and it starts growing. Well, the life is contained in that seed. Right. And that seed will basically, it's eternal. Now, if that seed, nothing really disappears. It just changes. It goes from one form to another. Like water. Every drop of water that was here in the beginning of the earth is still here in one form or another. Wow. So nothing in the physical world, nothing really disappears. It only changes its form. In the spiritual world, nothing ever ages or gets old, because there's no want, need, or desire in the spiritual world. And it's like the spiritual world, when you think about it, it's like our thoughts. Our thoughts can take us anywhere we want to go. And that's what happens in the spiritual world. All of a sudden, you're wherever your mind takes you, you see, because there's no body to carry. And the physical world, we're only here to learn. And so what happens in the afterlife, like you just asked, now this is just my observation, is that if you were, say, an evil person, and you were executed or something, I believe that you may put your foot in, you may put your soul in the spiritual world for a second, but I really envision you being
The setup I'm using is way over there. So it's not.
Do you want me to go to another room? Huh?
No, it's okay.
No, so this is what I believe for bad people. When they die or get executed or whatever, I believe they go straight into another baby, another sperm to be born, and to be born again, and to be
till they work it out,
to come back and work it out. And I think it works both ways too. I think if you're a great like Mozart, for instance. Mozart was probably this other being that wasn't finished doing his concertos and everything else here, because music is another eternal form. There's always been music. There's always been a sound, and it's never changed. That's why the octaves, the number 7 and 8 makes it an octave.
Yep.
And if you're into numerology, it's the same thing. And that's why we are number 1 in the physical world. In the spiritual world, we're a thought, but we are a very ordained spiritual thought. And therefore, we will always be here. I wrote a poem about us. We're a thought in God's mind. That's who we are, And but anyway, I think, again, it could be that, because we're here to learn, and so I can see you being a tyrant one lifetime, and then a saint the next lifetime, and then when you evolve to a certain point, I don't think you have to come back to Earth. Mm-hmm. I think, like Jesus said, there are many mansions in his Father's place. And I think as we evolve, we don't need a physical body to learn from anymore. Because what do we learn? What do we learn as the physical? What's our urges? To repopulate the planet. That's an urge. And if the planet gets too populated, then I can see where homosexuality would come in, where you still have the love of another person, but you don't have any offspring. I can see how, and then I also believe that we inhabit everything that's living on Earth. We can, as spirits, we can come back. We can inhabit a whale, like some Indian chiefs have done, where they've recorded it, where the Indian chief says that I will come back as a great white. And sure enough, he died. And the next thing you know, there's a great white in the lagoon that won't go. He stays there. And he's obviously the chief, the Indian chief. And so that's what I believe, and I believe everything that's done. See, that there, like John Lennon said, there's no good or bad. There just is, and we're all in a learning phase, and it never stops, and we keep evolving, and we never stop.
I've actually I've had a psychedelic trip which kind of taught me that hell is almost like the hell realm is on Earth, and maybe that's what hell is. It's just you have to just come back over and over and over and over and over and over again until you get it. You passed the class. Next level. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just an experience that I had.
Real to me also.
Well, we can't know. We're not supposed to know. We can surmise, and we can know inside, but
it's such a weird position. It's so weird to just be in life and have no idea why or how, or no one has any clue. We all just woke up here somehow. It's such a strange, weird thing to be in the middle of.
But again, it's like a puzzle, I mean, no one gives you a puzzle and say, okay, it's all done. Puzzle. It's all done. Like a crossword, or like any kind of puzzle, that's given to you for your own enjoyment. And that's what life is. Life is like a puzzle. You're here to figure this stuff out for yourself. And you're totally given hints. No, you're given hints.
Yeah,
left and right. But I can also see that there's a lot of people. Like, that's why the holy books or the spiritual books, they teach you not to prophesize, not to give this information. I can give it to you guys because you're asking, but right. if you weren't asking.
But don't preach.
Yes.
Oh, no. Yeah. Because it falls on deaf ears. It really does. Yeah. It's casting your pearls before the swine.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing. And it lessens your development, you know, because a lot of like these evangelists and that, you know, they're actually fooling a lot of people for money.
Yep.
You know, to making money out of it, and their reward is not very nice. You know, it's not a good future for them. But then they'll change. You know, everybody can change. You know,
exactly.
I was on the what was it? The Greeks podcast. What are they called? A couple of guys, and you know, they're sort of militant, you know, left wingers, you know, and so they're talking, what would you do, you know, if, you know, for evil people? Like, well, I think we're talking about Trump. And I said, the only thing you can do is forgive. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can do to anybody that has sinned, is forgive them. And that's what Jesus taught, you know.
Yeah, that's what Christianity is all about. It's forgiveness.
Yeah,
you know?
forgiveness. Yeah. And forgiveness is so.
It's hard.
No, it frees you.
That's true.
It frees you. And the thing is, too, I've learned your prayers will not be answered if you got any animosity or any bad feelings in your heart toward anybody.
So is that what sanctifying your soul is about? Like kind of clearing your passions and
yes. Yeah. And if you want the rewards, then you have to be pure in your thoughts. You got to have those pure thoughts, you know. And if you, that's why the Lord. Well, that's why the Lord's Prayer says, "Lead us not into temptation."
Yes,
it doesn't
deliver us from evil. Yeah,
it doesn't say you're not going to be tempted. You are going to be tempted.
Always.
And the prayer is, don't lead us, don't allow us to be in that tempting, and then everything will be fine. But of course, like Adam and Eve, you know, you got to bite that apple. I love it.
It's like, just take it. It's okay. Just don't worry about it. Just eat the apple. You'll become like gods. Don't worry. Just do it. Who's this God character? Don't worry about it. Just take the apple.
And I like the poor snake. He gets a bad rap all the time. You know? And then they say, you know, you're coming back because of the snake. Well, snake's got a pretty good life. You know, when you think about it, you know, a lot of them only have to eat once a year.
Once a year?
True.
Yeah.
Oh, they're everywhere here in Australia. My goodness, snakes.
Well, the big pythons, they'll eat a cow or
a cow. Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or they're that big, and then they don't have to eat again for a year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you got snakes and if you look at all the animal kingdom, you'll find the same family feelings that humans have. You know, the most amazing is the salmon, the Pacific salmon, or the salmon, because when they get there, just before they die, they have to go back to where they were born. And that means they have to go up these waterfalls and currents. They have to go against the current.
That's why they're always hopping around like that?
Yeah, and climb up to where they were born so they can die. So they can die, lay their eggs, and then die. And when they die, their body becomes part of the earth again. You know, it provides fertilizer for the trees and the shrubberies and food for the wild animals, their bodies. But their eggs, once they hatch, they go downstream, which is a real easy journey, because you just hop on whatever and the current takes you down. And the next thing you know, you're in the ocean and there's a lot of you. And the ones that survive, they have to make that journey back up again. Oh yeah, you got the bear grabbing you on the way up.
Yep. The stream is so
oh God, blood everywhere. mommy. Yeah.
My God, I've been alive for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I got friends that, they didn't want to eat octopus. They saw that movie. Did you see the octopus?
The octopus teacher. Yeah, it's a really good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I feel
I
bad.
love
I feel bad eating squid now. I still eat salmon. But
I would eat them just because they're so smart. I haven't seen the documentary,
Yeah.
but I know that they're brilliant.
they're
but
really intelligent.
But they're not the only ones in the ocean that are brilliant.
Oh, I know. I
And
bet the
the
whole planet's
whales.
filled. I bet everything feels intelligent. Like everything, I bet all life probably has a sense of self. I mean, even ants. Ants are these tiny little things, little brains, and look at how intelligent their civilizations are.
Yes.
They clearly react
and-
to their environment, clearly building something and doing something and working together and collaborating.
Yeah, trees and mushrooms
Yeah.
too. Not even
Trees
just animals.
and mushrooms.
Mm.
The whole planet is probably intelligent.
Yeah.
And that's what we're part of this. We're part
Absolutely.
of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because we're eternal beings, there are times for us to become part of a tree, to become an ant, to become all that.
yeah.
There's no reason why we can't.
Right now. Because, we do breathe the things that the trees release, and the trees breathe what we release. It's
Yeah.
just that our consciousness is so single pointed into this little ego loop that we're stuck on.
For a reason too.
For
There's
a reason
there's a reason for ignorance.
Yeah, there
And
is.
we have to respect it. That's why forgiveness is so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like Jesus said, I mean, just
we know
imagine,
not what we do.
he got his ass whipped. Then he nailed him to a cross. And what did he say?
Forgive
Forgive
them,
them,
Father. Mm.
For they know not what they do.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a deep teaching.
And the thing is, when they said he's going to come back 3 days, the pagans or the Christians, they thought he was going to come back with the human body. But what he meant was that he's in spirit. And so his spirit's not going to die. His body's going to die, but his spirit goes to heaven, and he's back. He never left because his words are still here. Shit. It's my daughter, but I declined the call.
Yeah, that's beautiful talking to you, Tommy. I just got to say, because the 70s Show is literally one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. My fiance absolutely loves it, and you're like one of the best characters. So I just want to say that.
It's so much.
Yeah, it's so good. It's
I
so
would love
good.
to see you play Jesus, Tommy.
I had so much. What's that?
I would love to see you play Jesus in a movie or a sitcom, some stoner Jesus. You're walking through healing people.
I think no, I'm too old to play Jesus. He was only 33.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe Moses.
I think Moses.
With the
wouldn't mind
burning
Moses.
bush. Wink, wink.
Totally with the burning bush. Yeah, and Moses was a badass too.
He was a definite badass.
Definitely.
Yeah, he was a Jew, but he was raised by the pharaohs.
Yep.
And that was so cool the way they did it, because they're going to kill all the firstborn, and so they makes it so that the pharaoh goes, oh, look at a baby.
Yeah.
See?
And it was foreshadowing for Christ coming, because when the angel of death came and they put the blood of the lamb on each door, and that was foreshadowing the coming of Christ,
Well, wasn't that crazy that the pandemic hit right at Passover?
Really? I didn't even realize that.
It did.
Wow.
And nobody, I kept
No way.
freaking out. I said, it's Passover. We got a pandemic. We're in the middle of Passover, and there's pandemic. And nobody caught it. It's a holiday. We're just observing another Jewish holiday. But it was because of a pandemic.
Wow.
And to this day, I think I'm the only guy that's going, oh, it's Passover and we're in a pandemic. But I believe in God, and so
I didn't even think of that. Thank you for enlightening me. That's of course. Now I'm like, of course it happened on Passover.
Yeah. Yeah, I realize that. So let's see. What time is it now? How much time we got? Do you know?
It's just whatever you want, Tommy.
Yeah, that was about an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to take off because
Cool.
my daughter is waiting
Of course.
patiently to put me in a horror movie.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. I gotta do this like really messed up horror movie.
I gotta go get murdered real quick. Be right back.
Yeah. Well, listen, anytime, man. You guys want to make this
for sure.
thing, I'm all for it.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, we'll call you in 30 minutes.
I'd love to continue. Okay. Yeah. I'd love to talk to you about the 70s show as well.
Yeah, okay.
On the future one. So yeah.
The next one we'll do the 70 show.
All right, brother.
Cool.
All good.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch, and yeah,
Peace
it's
and
always a
love.
pleasure, Tommy.
Good luck.
Okay, take care, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
All right. Get out of this motherfucker. Go. How do I do this?
The red button.
No.
You might be able to remove him, Tom, from here.
Can I?
No sé. No lo sé. There he goes.
How's it going? Beautiful.
Tommy Chong, ladies and gentlemen.
Tommy. How much is that soundboard? I really want one to make.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. I think it's like $400. It's pretty expensive, but it's actually amazing. It's got 4 different microphone outputs, so you can have 4 microphones hooked up to it.
Oh,
And it's amazing. I'll talk to you about it more when we're off podcast. But
yes, of course. Don't want to talk boring technical jibber jabber.
Well, it's got 4 microphone outputs.
It's at 482 hertz, and yeah. Oh, dude, that was so good. I'm glad.
Tommy Chong, that was a good one.
Yeah, really good.
He's a
Same
cool
thing.
guy.
You brought up the Bible again.
Yeah, he's cool,
Like
man. He's cool.
without us. Yeah,
He knows a lot. He's
He
not
does.
like he's not brainless.
Nah.
He's not like a brainless stoner. He's an intellectual for sure, and very philosophical, and he actually understands these concepts, and you can tell he thinks about them. It's not just like, some, dickhead spewing some.
Yeah. And it depends,
thing.
and it also depends who's interviewing him too, because I've seen a lot of interviews where it's just kind of like just typical stoners. You know what I mean? They don't really go to that level.
Yeah, I think both podcasts we've done with him have hit a level that you don't really see from him very often.
And I like that he's like genuinely keen to like do it again. So
yeah, you just keep doing it. Okay, we'll call you back in 30 minutes.
yeah, I just got to do this horror movie. I'm never gonna watch it, but I'll do it.
Yeah, I love the idea that we just become friends with Tommy Chong.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Our Bible study. We need to get him to come to Ethiopia with us.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. Or even
Convince him to do a travel channel.
go to the US. Yeah, he's really into it. He's got a lot of
Or
knowledge.
take him to Israel if they'll let me in.
Even the whole pandemic on Passover, that was actually
I
that
actually
genuinely
don't know
blew
what
my
Passover
mind. I was like, whoa.
What is Passover?
I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like a.
Why is
oh
that
wait, no. Hang on, because I don't want to mistake Passover. Passover, Hebrew or Pesach in Judaism, holiday commemorating the Hebrews' liberation from slavery in Egypt, and the Passover of the forces of destruction, or the sparing of the firstborn of the Israelites, when the Lord smote the land of Egypt on the eve of the Exodus.
Puta madre.
Or the passing over of the forces of destruction. Marinate on that for just a moment.
Say it again. Give it to me one more time.
The passing over of the forces of destruction. We're passing over to the forces of destruction. It's like we're giving our power to forces that are. I'm just kind of like winging it here, but
oh man, the whole flipping world. We are absolutely giving our power away to the worst of the worst.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially in especially in Australia, man. It's gone too far, way too far, and
I don't like it.
And I feel like people are getting more Well, I guess it depends. Like Tommy said, if you have a good mind state and a good mode of being, and you have faith, and you keep doing what you do, yeah, you can transmute it.
Alchemy, emotional alchemy.
Exactly. But a lot of people haven't been in a good place, man. I think people are nowadays struggling more with anxiety, depression.
We live in a fucked up culture, so it's gonna breed fucked up people until we have a revolution.
Yeah. Revolution. I guess we'll see. All right, but we'll end it at that. We'll have a chat after the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tommy, your mate Tommy Chong,
your mate Tommy Chong, your mate Dakota Chong. We out here.
Nah, that was awesome. I really appreciate that he.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to have this conversation too. It's cool.
Dude, you invited me first, so thank you very much. Cool. I feel very blessed to be in this opportunity. Like, just have. It's like it's still weird. It's like a simulation. Like, am I serious? Am I like talking to Tommy Chong right now? Because I didn't just say that. Like, the 70s Show is literally one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you got your little fanboy moments in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I showed my girlfriend the movie for the first time.
Yeah. She loved it.
My fiance.
Yeah, my fiance. I know. It's taken me like a couple months to say it.
That's cool, man. I hope I can say that one day.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Got to be the man who you got to be.
Sorry to end the podcast on that.
I wish I had a girlfriend. And then it's like, end podcast. Like, just like the tear going down the face. Nah, you're good, mate. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy this, of course, this will be available on Spotify, iTunes, and I'll link the first podcast that we did with Dakota. And yeah, that's it. Catch you guys next time.
And your mate Tom, make sure to leave a review over at Apple Podcasts. That helps get the rankings up over there.
Thank you. Yes.
It's on Spotify too, right?
Yep.
Head over, subscribe on Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Your mate Tom sorry, that was a tongue slip. Your mate Tom podcast, baby. Let's get it.
All right. Catch you later. Peace out, mate.